Hello guys, hello replay viewers. Give everybody a second to hop in and then we'll get started. Hi Naima. So I am an hour late doing this. No, I'll take that back. I'm an hour late from the rescheduled time. So apologies guys. We're gonna get started in a second. So just take a look. If you need to contact me, you can do so through these various options. And have anyone that is going to be selling their home soon or who may be interested in this topic, please go ahead and share this while I get myself together. Please go ahead and share this with your followers by clicking the little man at the bottom. There we go. Okay. So, I'm Rashida Clark and I'm a realtor. Thank you for inviting your followers, Rakita. I am a realtor in Hampton Roads, Virginia, the Mid-Atlantic, whatever you want to call it, Peninsula and South Side. And I thought this was an interesting topic because it's actually one of the seller topics that I've had on my list since it's almost February. The market starts heating up in March. So people are usually gearing up around this time to put their house on the market. And photography is so important. On all of my listings, and I'm looking on my computer, you guys, I have examples. I didn't find really good ones, but I have examples. On all of my listings, I get professional pictures done. I'm pretty good with the camera, but when it comes to this, something that I have to do to make money, I don't trust my skills to really represent the property the way it should. So I'm going to give a couple tips. Number one, I would suggest that if you are interviewing an agent, which you should interview agents, which is probably another scope, but you should interview agents when you're considering listing your house. You should see what their internet strategy is, and part of their internet strategy should be, hi D Wright, part of their internet strategy should be photography. And I say that because probably 90%, more than 90%. I actually have a graphic that I can put up on my website. Probably 90% of people start online, right? Most people start looking on Zillow, on Trulia, what's the other one? Redfin, a couple other places when they're starting their home search. And so the first thing that they see, the first impression that they get of your home is the pictures. So if your pictures suck, 9 times out of 10, they don't even just choose to see your listing. And that's what we find. People decide what homes they want to put on their list of homes to view by going through those pictures that they find online. So if your house doesn't make it, even though it may be a perfectly wonderful house, if your house doesn't make the short list, then you potentially lost your buyer already. The other thing I want to mention is what we're finding is that the more pictures you have, the higher your home comes up in the search online. So I typically do 32 pictures of the house, unless it's a small house. I mean, if it's a smaller house, 20 pictures is probably fine. So let me just show you guys some examples, and these are on the market. I'm not going to click through all of them, but I'm just going to give you a sample. And these aren't the really bad ones. There were some really bad ones that I saw probably 2 months ago, and I can't go through all of the houses on the market, but here are just a few examples of what I think is pretty. Okay, so this is pretty typical. There's nothing really wrong with this picture per se, okay? But now, so let's go over to this one. What is this room supposed to be? I mean, what is that? It's completely dark. You have no clue what that is. I hate to see pictures like this because, I mean, it's really like a black hole. That's a black hole. So that, I'm not going to give the addresses, even though you may be able to see them in some of these pictures. I'm not going to give the addresses. So I'm going to show you a couple of good examples, a couple of bad examples, a couple of okay examples, and then most importantly, I'm going to show you an example of a house that's staged Same house versus a house that wasn't staged. Actually, so let me do that right now. Let's see. And this is a flip. So this house, it was an estate sale. So basically the person who owned it passed away, not in the house, but they passed away. It was sold in her estate, and then a flipper bought it and they flipped it. So let me just go show you guys this. Okay. And I hope that they are focused enough. I'm going to let this kind of flip through. This is the property with the flipper and the first agent, and it was not staged. Actually, let's see. Can we brighten that up a little bit? Okay, so they did a really cute job in this house. New kitchen, new appliances, new light fixtures. The hardwood floors are original. But as you can see, it's bare. Which there's nothing really wrong with it. But it just wasn't, it's just not enough. Just giving it a second to click through. So we have 2 more pictures. And I want to say these pictures aren't bad, but I think the agent took the pictures themselves. So you can kind of tell a little bit of a difference. So let me now show you the house after, and you can see the address right there. Let me show you the house after it was taken off the market and staged. So what you guys are seeing actually is the behind the scenes of the MLS. So the first thing I want to point out is they had 12 pictures at first, and now there's 32 pictures. Okay, that's the first huge difference. And now let me show you what the house actually looks like after it was staged. So a professional photographer, they get different angles, different shots, and they usually choose the best shot of each room. So here it is staged, and it made a world of difference. This home was on the market for a full listing period, which is typically 6 months, and it did not sell. They staged it, and it sold in 30 days. I mean, the difference is huge. It's huge. I mean, just going from, even though it was already flipped and it looked really nice, it was bare, it was empty. You didn't really know where the couch would go, where you would put this, where you put that. They staged it. They had new pictures taken, and it sold immediately. And there's one down the street exactly like it. They did the same thing with it. Same layout, everything. So you could definitely tell a difference. Appearance is everything. Especially when real estate is such a huge thing now, especially with HGTV and the DIY network and all of that. Buyers expect a lot. They expect a whole lot. And so when you're not stepping up to that challenge, whether it's in person or online, you're losing out. You're absolutely losing out. Actually, I didn't even see that. That's really cute. So they staged every room, the bedrooms, everything. I think it came out really. There's tons and tons and tons of pictures. So let me just go through the pictures that I was trying to find that I could not find. I'm gonna give you some examples. I showed you the black hole, what I call a black hole, where it's a picture of, and the whole room is dark. It's just black. You don't even know what the room is. I always love the pictures where the agent, you can see the agent in the bathroom standing in the mirror taking a picture of the bathroom. How, like, you can see yourself. I can see you in the mirror taking a picture. You probably shouldn't put that up. I've seen people take pictures with the dog in the picture. No, that's don't do that. No dogs, no children. The other thing, clutter. I'm still searching as we speak for a good cluttered picture. That's actually another point. When when I go for a listing appointment and I walk through the house, I tell my sellers, I have professional pictures done. It is my investment in this listing because they're not cheap, especially depending on the size of the house. So I walk through and I say, can you declutter? Can you move this here? Can you take that down? If they are not willing to do that, I'm probably not going to have professional pictures done, because even if you have professional pictures done, but the house looks a mess, it's not going to help. I mean, it's just not going to help. So I've seen some pictures where the house is so cluttered, you can't even really see the house. All you see is the stuff. And that's another no-no. Right now in my market, all I'm finding are flips. I'm just finding a bunch of flips, which isn't a bad thing, but for this example, it's not necessarily a great thing. The other thing I want to mention when it comes to pictures is there's an article I typically give out to my sellers that talks about some of the basic things that you may want to do when you're thinking about selling your home. And those are like fresh paint, new carpet, if your carpet is dated, or especially if it's an odd color, like there are some houses we went to that the carpet's green or it's pink or whatever. Carpet and paint are the two biggest ones. Now you can get laminate flooring for really, really cheap too. And so if your flooring is dated, you know, I usually suggest that people have those things done because those also show in the pictures. If you got green carpet, the picture's gonna have green carpet. So again, people click away from that house because you've got green carpet. There was something else I wanted to say about that with the green carpet. Oh, I know. The article that I typically give out to my sellers, it talks about the white room versus the pink room and how people discount in their mind. They discount the pink room by something like 30 or 35%, because they automatically think, I've got to come in, I've got to paint, the house is probably outdated, it needs this, it needs that. That's what buyers do. As soon as they see something they don't like, they automatically start to discount it in their head and think about what they would need to take off. And usually for buyers, so this is geared to sellers, you guys. Usually for buyers overestimate by a whole lot how much things really cost to be done. So that's the bad thing for the sellers, because you know it doesn't cost that much, but they don't know that. So they're going to automatically go, oh God, I need new carpet. That's like $10,000. It's not. But those are the kinds of things you want to avoid by trying to get up front and doing some of these things. So this really ties in. Photography is everything. Naima. So Naima is a buyer client. It is the truth, but you know, people are hard-headed though. But for the sellers who do listen, their house sells fast and they get to move on with their life. So buyers, you know, well, you know, because we've been out looking, you automatically start discounting things when you see ugly things or you see things you don't like or you feel like you have to change. And so the idea for sellers, you want to get ahead of that so that you don't have that issue. You don't even want buyers to have that perception. Now, I'm not saying that you've got to redo your whole house, but some of those basic things you want to go ahead and do, and those things are showing up in the photography first and foremost, which is where the buyers are starting. So photography, just to recap, photography is everything. You guys, we need to make sure that your house looks good and the photography is good so that you give buyers the best impression of the house, and so that they even first want to come see your house. Because if they don't like from the photography, if they don't like what they see, they're not going to come and view your home to begin with. So that means your home may not get sold, or it may just sit there until somebody decides, well, you know, it's still here, let me just go check it out. And usually if they say it in that tone, that usually means that it wasn't the first pick, and so they're probably not going to offer you full price anyway. I know. It kind of sucks. But anyway, thank you guys. I'm sorry that I'm late with this. The other thing I hate are blurry pictures, and I did catch a couple of those. I'm sorry that I'm late with this, but today was a crazy day, and I'm glad to be home. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like mentally I'm all over, and I have something on my nose. Mentally I'm all over the place, so I'm glad the scope was helpful. And And I promised a scope for new agents. Somebody asked me to do a scope about new agents, which I will probably do almost as soon as I finish this scope. So thank you guys for watching. If you have questions, let me just put my little handy screen back up. Let's see, there we go. So if you guys do have questions, please feel free to contact me. As always, I thank you guys for watching. Rakita, Naima, who else? The Seventh Man. I'm trying to remember all my regulars that were on today watching the scope. I appreciate you guys. I am going to just do a little quick, off the top of my head, here are the things new agents need to look out for, or advice, or whatever I'm going to call it. Okay, guys? All right. Bye.